What is going on, comic family? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm here today with some friends and a very special guest to talk about none other than the death of the Superman anniversary that's coming, and we're going to be celebrating it in a really big time way. Don't go anywhere. Check this out. So joining me to talk about this is none other than Mr. Paul Cook from Sector 2815, as well as Mr. Nick's Kicks and Comics. But the special guest that we got coming on to really reveal and roll out the biggest thing coming to this that nobody needs to miss is none other than Mr. Nelson Chua, the owner of Big Time Collectibles himself. How's everyone doing?
Good, well. Good. Everyone.
Dude, we're doing great. I'm really excited to talk and share this with everybody. Real quick, everybody, if you haven't already, be sure to follow Big Time Collectibles on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you do your social media. Check them out at bigtimecollectibles.com. The link to all their stuff is in the description of all my videos. So what you're going to see here today, you can follow over there and not miss out on. And today is the day with all the details dropping on social media as well. So you do want to go follow that to get make sure you don't miss out. It's going to be super limited. So what we're talking today is the death of Superman anniversary. Mr. Paul Cook's going to give you a little bit of information on what that actually is real quick.
Yeah, so it was basically 30 years ago that really the talk of comics and really the talk of pop culture, it was on the news, it was everywhere, was the death of Superman. It occurred in Superman number 75, and it was at the hands of a brand new villain that was called Doomsday. The issue itself sold 6 million copies. And so to kind of commemorate the anniversary of 30 years ago, DC has managed to get they've managed to get all the bands back together. And I say bands because there were 4 comics that Superman was in at the time, and DC has managed to get all 4 of those groups back together. So we have 4 stories. We have 4 stories in this anniversary issue. We have Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding. They will be doing a story where John Kent finds out that his dad died. His parents, Lois and Clark, did not tell him, so he'll find out, and then they both will battle a brand new villain called Doombreaker. And then in the other 3, we have basically the other creators. We have Roger Stern and Butch Guice. We have Louise Simonson and John Bogdanove, and Jerry Ordway and Tom Grummett. They're basically telling 3 different stories, recapping, taking a look at the death of Superman, but from different points of view. So that's really what's going to happen. There'll be 4 stories in this anniversary issue. I am like a kid on Christmas morning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I know one of those characters they're highlighting is the Guardian, who we don't really see anymore. It's just going to be a really good time. And Nelson over here had one of the most creative ideas to roll this out in a big time edition kind of way. And Nelson, do you want to tell us about what you got going on with this?
Well, to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman, we decided to do limited edition gold foil. One is gold foil and one is silver foil edition.
So these are the same book, correct? Obviously the same book.
The same book. The only difference is the gold foil will be limited to 300 copies. It will all be CGC 9.8, numbered 1 to 300 to 300 to 300 by CGC.
Ooh. So as you can see on the label underneath where it says DC Comics, it actually says numbered, and it's a mock-up 1 of 300. So as we've seen with Big Time Collectibles before, they're getting sequential numbering put on the labels at CGC, so you are guaranteed that not only the print run, but you're guaranteed your number in that print run. And that's, as I don't know, there's been like pros and cons with print runs over the course of like all these retailer exclusives, but getting the sequential numbering is really just like putting your flag in the ground. It's like guaranteeing the exclusivity of the item itself. And you just mentioned what it really took to get this to happen with CGC. And it wasn't that long ago that you actually pulled off the foils with DC. So that's a feat in itself to be a retailer getting foil covers. But will you tell everybody about what you told us about how the shipping for these 300 gold copies actually works?
Okay, so the entire print run needs to go straight from DC Comics to CGC. and it has to be accompanied with the invoice that we have from Lunar. And what CGC needs to do is to verify that they have the entire print run,
Wow.
and all boxes needs to be sealed. If if let's say the book went to us instead of CGC, and we accidentally open one of the boxes, even if we send it back, even if we send it to CGC, the entire print run, even if it matches the invoice, it's gonna be voided. CGC will not grade it. We're gonna lose out. So what we do is we have CGC sending it straight to CGC with the invoice. That way, there's no way that they will say that, oh, wait a minute, there's a discrepancy on this one. Oh, the seal is broken. So they will have everything, and that's the stipulation that I have with CGC, is for them to get the entire print run, or else they will not put the numbering, the sequential numbering, which I think is really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. The links in which they're going to guarantee this print run is what they say it is. Like a lot of people have their complaints about CGC. I have mine here and there as well when stuff goes on, but it's really awesome to see amidst all the stuff going on that they are in this specific situation. At least they're doing everything that they possibly can to guarantee this print run is what it is. It's not they're grading 300 of 1,000. It's not one of those overprinted things where you see people, oh, we got these, and all of a sudden more turn up and your book's less valuable than you were initially told it was. So what you see is what you get. Limited to 300 means 300. Now, I am curious, is this one of those occasions where you're going to be able to send them more than 300 to guarantee at least 309.8s and then just kill the overstock?
Yes. Of course, I'm not going to lie about that. Um, the print run is the same as the silver. There is 1,000 copies of each.
That's the
They
minimum, isn't it?
that would be the minimum, and of course that the invoice that is going to CGC with the print run, what they'll do is they will have to reduce it to 300 CGC 98 candidates, and those are the ones that will be encapsulated and graded and numbered. The rest of the 700 copies, they have to be destroyed, and they will be destroyed by CGC. They're not send it to me. They will be destroyed by CGC. I know
I
but
could hear it in your voice when you said they have to be destroyed.
they have to be destroyed. I mean, that's the only way to do it. But the print run, nobody will believe, even if I lie, or I can't tell you guys on a straight face that there's only 300 copies that will be sent to CGC. That's bullshit, because they will have to grade it. They will have to grade it. So it's 1,000 print run. They will need to find and grade at least 300 309.8s.
Yeah, I
Now,
hope out of the bunch that they pull, they manage to get some 9s and 10s out of there.
well, here's the thing. I only ask for the 9.8s. So they never told me anything about, if anything goes graded higher than 9.8, it will be up there. They did not. That is not an agreement
Yeah.
that I have with them. It's only 9.8.
Hmm.
Pre-screen 9.8.
Right.
I mean, if it goes 9.9 or 10, they may put them in there. But being it foil, I mean, I don't see any reason why not get a 9, 10.
Right.
But I don't really mind not getting a 10. I mean, having only 300 copies of that book numbered, I mean, I think is a really good collectible for true Superman fans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the Mrs. Tessmacher variant. Nelson, will that happen? Is there a possibility of that happening?
Which one?
Mrs. Tessmacher?
Lex Luthor's girlfriend from the
Oh,
movie.
Yeah.
oh,
Those are only being sold in Otisville.
Otisville, exactly.
but
So
here's the
no,
thing. I do realize that there's a lot of Superman fans. So what I did is, instead of just doing one foil, I did two. One's going to be silver, and this will stay true to the print run, which is 1,000. and it will be sold as raw. We will also offer graded copies with CGC graded copies, but it will not be numbered because we will have it in our possession.
So as far as purchasing and shipping goes, like with the gold ones ready to ship fairly close to the time of the release of this book, right? You should have those slabs in hand by that time.
No,
No.
it'll be at least because the release date is November 5th, if I'm not mistaken. I usually get my exclusive with DC a week before.
Okay.
So that's probably the same week or a week after is when the CGC will receive the gold copies, and then it will be going into priority fast track,
Okay.
and
Yeah. Fast track on there. Yeah. And
yeah,
they've sped up a lot lately too.
Oh, they're great right now.
yeah, they're really fast right now. So in about 30 to 45 days, those things are going to be shipping to the customers already.
Are they going to be going? They're not going to be going from CGC to the customers, obviously, right?
Oh,
they're going to be all back to you to be invoiced and
because
packaged the BTC way.
Yeah, once I get them, once we get them at the shop, what we do is we line them up. We make sure they're all in order. We make sure there's no errors on numbering, because there's still a chance that a typo error could happen. That there can be a number 21 and a number 12, and then instead of putting 21, they put 12 again. I mean, there's stuff like that can happen. So we need to inspect them first. And then if we find one error, what we do is we'll have to send them back to CGC and redo that.
So let me ask you, Nelson, and I think Big Time Collectibles itself kind of outdoes itself each subsequent release. How did the tribute to the 30th anniversary, how did these gold and silver covers come about?
Well, the first time I saw it popped out, one of my guys told me, "Hey, we just saw it on what was that? There's an article that showed up, and they immediately showed it to me." And I told him, "Man, that's freaking expensive. I don't think I could do an exclusive on that. It's like $10."
Oh, the book itself, yeah, it's oversized. I didn't even think about that. That helps with the grade on it as well. Those square bound books.
Square bound, yeah. And what I did was I pre-sold the regular books first, especially the black bag. That same day, I've sold over 400 copies. 400 copies in less than 24 hours of Death of Superman books. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna do an exclusive.
Yes.
I'm gonna do a gold foil. At first it was just gold foil. And then one of my guys said, "Dude, you already sold that many regulars. If you do CGC on that one, they'll get mad if they can get their hands on the foil." I said, well, okay, let's do a silver one then.
So any reason why you picked gold and silver? Because originally the Death of the Superman cover was all black with red blood on it. And then the Return of Superman was all white with the standard logo on it at that point. Is there anything that made gold and silver jump out at you, or just?
I based it on an exclusive that I did back when BTC was just barely starting. I did a tremendous Trump gold foil, silver foil, red foil, black foil, and I think that's it. And the gold foil went nuts, and silver. Those two are selling. So I'm thinking to myself, well, let me do a mock-up of silver and gold and put them on.
Just that's it. Drop the mic.
Boom.
Yeah. But
Just
it
like
actually
that.
worked out. It actually works out really well too, because if you recall, back in 1992, when they actually released these, they released what's called a platinum cover.
Yeah.
So they had a platinum edition. So now you can have a platinum, a gold, a silver.
And that was all black with silver S, right? The platinum
Correct.
edition. It says platinum edition in small toward the bottom. So real quick, while Nelson gets booted back on, I will let everybody watching know The silver edition, which will be available in raw copies with CGC options available, are limited to 1,000, and they are $29.99. And right where Mr. Paul Cook is pointing, if you'll do that again, Paul, if you look really close, you actually see the red letters. That's the trade dress in nice, tight font. And down there next to you, Nick, right inside that box on your shirt, right on the edge of the book, that's where it says DC Comics on it.
I wouldn't point like this, but I.
Yeah. And then the CGC one is going to be, like you said, limited 300 sequential numbering, $150. CGC only, and that's a steal of a deal, knowing, like you mentioned, that's the same price point that you would see for the regular exclusives of a regular comic. This is not a regular comic. It's a special edition, oversized with a $9.99 standard price tag. So I do want to say kudos to you, Nelson, for not busting the community over the head with an unnecessarily high. You took a loss on that, where like that's a smaller profit margin for this book than you did with other ones that aren't square bound $10 books. So that again just shows how awesome you guys are.
Well, we can't celebrate the Superman with greediness. We got to make sure that we set a standard on pricing.
What? Wow. Yeah. We can't celebrate Superman by price. It's not what Superman would do.
It's not the American.
Where I've heard that before.
It's not the American way. That's Nick's way. He's like, I'll price gouge a 7-year-old and just give me the option.
I'll price gouge the crap out of it.
You guys have other questions about the exclusives?
Man, I'm just excited. So
yeah.
So Thursday of this week, which is today, all the information, the pricing information, all that will be available at all the Big Time Collectibles social media platforms and everything. Pre-sales will go on. Where pre-sale is going live
Friday,
September 2nd. Pre-sales go live at bigtimecollectibles.com. 300 copies. That's not a lot, people.
No,
that's not a lot. That Batman sold out in I think less than 24 hours. I sold out of Batman.
And there's only one version of this. That Batman had a few package options to choose from. There's only one version of this, and it'll be gone. Are you going to hold any back to do on Whatnot sales or anything like that?
No,
burn them all at the front.
Not give any preferential treatment. Everything will be sold at the website. I will put limit 2 per person, and limit 2 per person. No preferential treatment. I have, ever since I posted, I've been getting several emails and messages from several people, and I told them no, it'll have to go through the website, everything.
Well, kudos to you, my man. Well, without keeping this any longer, so people hang out and watch the whole thing, we're going to go ahead and cut it off here. I appreciate everybody checking out the video. Check out Nelson. Thank you guys for hopping on with me, and go buy this exclusive tomorrow. What time are you launching it?
We are launching it on Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Hashtag real time.
Yep. Pay attention to that ticker.
Set your alarm clocks 8 p.m. Friday afternoon, Friday night, and don't miss out. And until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.
Business Pass Marker!